Hey guys, welcome back to some Avius tutorials. This time, I realize I should probably have talked about this before I talked about renting inns, but I'm going to talk a little bit about Worldguard. It's a plugin we use on the server for land in different regions. What this plugin does is it'll set a region of land and basically protect it from the outside world. So when you're out in the wilderness, when you're like outside of spawn or outside of a town where you can PvP people, mob spawn, people can open your chest, people can grief, there's no restrictions basically on the land in itself. So anybody can open these chests out here, anybody can cut these trees, I could fight people, all that kind of fun stuff can happen outside in the wilderness. But what people can do is when they own a fiefdom, which will be talked about in a couple more tutorials down the road, they can buy a piece of land. Just like when you buy a little inn room, it becomes a piece of land for yourself, meaning that nobody else can like place any blocks, break any blocks, open chests, mobs won't spawn, there's no PvP, it's a protected little area of land and you have to buy it. So in addition to buying inn rooms, you can also buy plots. When a town gets a certain expansion, like a certain size, it can sell whole plots, which are a minimum of 10 by 10 or 100 tiles, but they can get as big as they'd like. They can be for any price set by the colony, or the fiefdom owner rather, and they're basically about 2 copper pieces per tile, but they're usually sold for much more, especially when they're in high demand or there's not very many towns doing it. But basically, you can purchase this piece of land and own it for yourself, but unlike an inn room, which you don't own, you will actually be the owner of these plots in the town. And this also goes for fiefdom owners that can add people to the region of land they own, but the main purpose behind this tutorial is explaining how to add members and move members to your region. So after you own a Worldguard region, whether you've bought a piece of land or you're buying land for a town, it has a name. There's 2 ways to check to see what the name of the town, of the region is. The first way is by using a piece of leather. Okay, you can right click anywhere in the region. So my region is marked by this orange wool. I've placed this box around it so I know where it was when I was building. This is the only piece left. But basically, you just right click with it and it'll tell you the available region. So you can see right now there's only one region. It's the Forestford region, and I can build in the region because I own it. Now if I were to go in the mob shop, there's actually 2 regions. You can see Forestford Depot and Forestford, because I'm also in the depot. I've combined it into one region. But when you own a piece of land, say if you buy a piece of land in a town, there's going to be 2 regions. There's going to be the region that's called the town name, and there's going to be another region that's going to be like some variation of your player name and then the date. That is the region that you own. And let's say I own the region, but I want to add Dorito Kings to that region. I want him to have permission to the town, like to the region as well, so we can share a house, for instance. Maybe he's paying me some money to share the house. So you type in /region, add member or remove member, and then you will type in the region name, which, for instance, let's do Forestford Depot, which could also be like Dorito King's 7-28-14 if it was his plot. And then you're going to type in the player that you want to add, which would be Dorito Kings. And then I would press enter, and it would give him permissions to that group. It would say like region updated. So if I wanted to remove a member and do that same thing, all stays in the same format. Remove member, and then it removes them from that region. So I wanted to explain that because the moderators get a lot of requests to add and remove people from regions. If you'd like to know who you've added to your region and who you've removed from the region, you can stand anywhere inside of your region and type in /rginfo. Or if there's more than one region, type in /rginfo and then the region name here, which again could be like Dorito 7-28-14. It'll tell you some information about it, for instance, the owner, which will probably be your name if you've typed in the correct region, and then the members of the region. You can see I have quite a few that have permission to my town. That is about it for the basic commands for Worldguard. There's a lot of other stuff with Worldguard, but those are really the only commands you're going to use as a general player. That's all you really need to know about. I have a couple people here that I've been talking to on my fan Skype from Avius. I know they've all been joining the server and I think they want to say something real quick. So let me unmute them. So say hi.
Hello, Avius, it's awesome. I'm fighting a spider spawner.
Yes. Yeah. They're enjoying the server. They're all slowly progressing, and somebody's mic is having a heck of a time.
Very nice.
Next episode, though, we're going to talk about the general restrictions we have on Avius before we jump to the last couple stuff before we start talking about fiefdoms. Hi, Dorito. The inside of your head is empty. I think there's something wrong there.